working with Brian. My name is Daniel Rodriguez, and Brian, I'm going to be your student PTA today. So today, first I'm going to show you how to do a wheelchair fitting. So I'm going to take some measurements. I'm going to get into your personal space a little bit, and I'm going to be taking a tape measure. I'm going to be taking measurements of your, like the length of your leg, the width, other lengths here and here. And we want to do that because we want a custom wheelchair for you, since you're going to be on the wheelchair for a couple weeks. And we want it to be perfect for your comfort and also for functioning. We don't want it too narrow. Again, we want it because you're gonna have to be moving around on it independently. So does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So first, I'm gonna sanitize.
Oh, there you go.
Again, before we start, can I also verify your name and date of birth?
Yeah.
Full name and date of birth.
Brian Slusser, 11/6/77.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. So what we're gonna do after the wheelchair fitting is we're gonna show you and the caregiver how to safely go up and down the ramp. So we're gonna optimize body mechanics for you.
Okay, pay attention. Listen to him. He knows what you have to watch him.
How you should position yourself as I'm gonna be taking you up there, as well as how the caregiver, how their body mechanics should be, what they should be using, their legs versus their arms and upper body. So first things first, I'm gonna take the measurements. Again, with the going up and down the ramp, does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the first measurement I'm gonna take is gonna be from, I'm gonna have your leg come up just a little bit. Okay. So I'm gonna be taking this measurement in inches from the popliteal fold to the heel. So since you wear these heels on a regular basis, it's perfect that I'm measuring with the shoes on, since he's gonna have these usually on. About 18 inches. So for that, I'm gonna add 2 inches to that. That'll make it 20 inches. And that's for the sizing of the seat height of the wheelchair, because we don't want his feet dangling, as well as we don't want them dragging as we're pushing him forward and back, or as he's using it to push himself forward and back. The next measurement is gonna be from the popliteal fold to the back of the seat, or the back of his butt. So he's sitting in a proper posture right now. His butt hitting the back, his back hitting the back of the chair, and he's upright. Okay. So again, from the popliteal fold to here, the back of his butt, which is also 18 inches. So for this one, I'm going to subtract 2, because we don't want it to hang out too much. We don't want his legs dangling down again. And we want to give him space as well, so that he's able to fold his legs, his knees, and also for movement. The next measurement I'm going to take is going to be from the widest of his hip area, or like thigh hip area. And that's also going to be in inches. That's going to be right there. And it's going to be 17 inches. And for that, I'm going to add 1.5 inch. So I said 17 plus 1.5. That's 18.5 inches. And the reason behind that is because that's going to be the width of the seat. And so for that, we don't want him to be too uncomfortable. Again, he's going to be on here for a long time. We want him to have a little bit of wiggle room, and when he's reaching for certain items, or for like handlebars and stuff like that, we want him to give him space. It's optimal for him. The next measurement is going to be from his butt. He's going to be reaching forward with his arm like that. And I'm going to do from the bottom of his butt basically to his armpit or axillary. And it's going to be 17 inches. And for that, we're going to subtract 4. And that's going to be the back of the chair, the height. And what we want to do is we want to clear the scapula, the inferior angle, so that's this bony area right here. Again, that's for patient posture and comfortability. And we don't want him to be slouched over. Let's say if this was higher. And we want to avoid friction as well. So now we're going to take the measurement. He's going to have his arm here at a 90-degree angle like that. that, his elbow. And the measurement I'm gonna take is gonna be from his butt to the bottom of the elbow right there, which is 7 inches, the left hand process, and 7 inches, and I wanna add 1 inch. So that's gonna give us the number that we want the armrest height to be, which is this right here. And I took it off to measure it properly. And so before I put it on, the purpose for this is so that it's low enough for him to be able to have it's just optimal for to rest his arm, and we don't want it too high so that he's maybe too shrugged, but we also want him to be able to push off and scooch himself up to a proper posture. So I'm gonna put this back on. Brian, can you lean over to your right side? How's that so far, by the way? Did you understand the measurements?
Yeah, that's common sense. Makes sense to me.
Perfect, so click right there. And, okay, so how's everything so far? Good, okay. So now I'm gonna put again, this was locked, the wheelchair was locked or the brakes were on, so as I was fitting, so that for safety precautions, we don't want him to tilt over, for it to be moving while I'm taking the measurements. So I'm gonna bring the leg rest over here. You can rest it on there, Brian. And I can rest it on there. Okay. Make sure it's locked. Okay. So I'm gonna bring these up a little bit so that they're not hitting the phone when I'm moving them. Okay. So now I'm gonna unlock them, take the brakes on. And what I'm gonna be doing next, it's important for you to pay attention as well as the caregiver. So what we're gonna do next is show you how to go up and down the ramp safely. I'm gonna ask you how to do, or what to do with your body, as well as the caregiver, how the body mechanics should be. So we're gonna be going up the ramp. I'm gonna bring the caster wheels as close as possible. And since it has a lip to it, I'm gonna have to lift the caster wheels using the tilt bar a little bit so that we clear the caster wheels and then bring them up safely so that it's not too hard on him or myself. Okay, so Brian, I'm gonna ask you to cross your arms here and also tilt forward so that it's not so much on me as I'm pushing them forward onto the ramp. And what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna make sure that also the leg rests are gonna be able to clear. So I just in case, I'm gonna lift them just a little bit higher. So now I'm gonna clear the caster wheels. So I wanna come as close as possible, use my forward foot on the tilt bar and make sure my back foot is braced. So I'm gonna use my arms or my hands to like tilt a little bit. And then I clear the wheel. And now I'm gonna come as close as possible and push them forward using my hip to drive. So I'm gonna use my hips rather than my upper body. Brian, you're moving forward, your arms crossed. Perfect. There you go. And we cleared the ramp. He's on the platform. I'm gonna bring him back down. So I wanna ask Brian again to lean forward and cross his arms. And for this one actually, I'm gonna demonstrate how we would use cross friction. So I want you to put your hand on 12 here and just don't hold it too hard, and you just want to provide a little bit of cross friction as I'm bringing you down. So you're going to be going as if you were going forward a little bit, or just resisting me pulling it back because the wheel's going to go backwards, okay? Okay, so I'm going to bring it back slowly, moving forward a little bit, and bring it down slowly. Clear the back wheel, and then wait for the caster wheel. Okay. So now just lean forward, cross your arms. Okay. Bring them back. How does that feel, Brian?
Great.
Okay, great. So if you were to do it on your own, and the ramp was low enough and not too steep for you to be able to do it alone, you would use your hands, place them on 12, and then roll them to 3, and then bring it back to 12, and then continue. So, perfect. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And if the ramp was too steep, or if it was longer and too steep, we could also zigzag. So that's information for the caregiver as well for Brian. You could zigzag to remove the steepness and adjust to it. So it seems like you got a real good understanding of it, of the wheelchair fitting, and how to go up and down the ramp safely. Okay, perfect. And how to use the leg rests. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay. Then next week we're gonna be showing you how to do going up and down the curb safely. Where you're gonna need a caregiver for that, as well as going up and down the stairs. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you, Brian. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.